Hello Year 3s, how are you? Now, as I said in our in the activity that was put on Teams for you, I would perform a little rock testing investigation for you. Okay, so I asked you to fill in your rock testing sheet with just your predictions. So, did you predict that the granite would wear well? Was it permeable? Would it split? And does it float? Now, that's the only bit I asked you to fill in. And then obviously the 5 different rocks. Okay, and the first rock on your sheet should be granite. Okay, now if you haven't got your sheet with you, could you pause the video and go and get that now? Okay, so I'm going to start off with the granite. And the first thing, now we're testing to see what properties these different rocks have, because they've all got different properties. And the 4 properties that we're going to test today are whether it wears well, whether it will last a long time, or whether it'll just rub away in a short period of time. If it's permeable, now permeable means will water or liquid soak into or absorb into the rock. Will it split? Will it split easily, or does it crumble? And does it float? Okay, so we're going to start off with granite. Now, can you remember what type of rock granite is? Okay, yeah, it's an igneous rock. And so that means it's come from a volcano. It's volcanic rock that's molten lava that has cooled and become a very, very hard rock. Okay, so I'm going to test it to see if it wears well with some sandpaper. And sandpaper is an abrasive material, and that means it is rough. And if it rubs against the surface, some of the granite might come off, powder might come away. All right, so we'll try that. Okay, and I can't see anything coming off, so yes, granite does wear well. It's very durable. Okay, is it permeable? All right, I'm going to test it with a few drops of water. Okay, so we'll put some water on the surface. Ooh, like that. Okay, and no, it isn't permeable. That water is just sitting on the surface of the granite. So it's not permeable. It means it hasn't sunk in, it hasn't absorbed into the rock. Okay, and does it split? Well, I'm going to say it certainly doesn't split. If you've watched the videos, you will have seen that they had to use a very special blade with a diamond blade to cut into granite. Granite is a very hard rock, so no, it doesn't split. And let's have a look and see if it floats. Okay, I'll just move that back a bit. Nope, that doesn't float. Okay, so well done if you've done all those predictions correctly. All right, now we're going to go on to chalk. Now, we've all probably come across chalk before. What type of rock is chalk? Can you remember? That's right, it's a sedimentary rock. Okay, it's a sedimentary rock. Now, let's see if it wears well. All right, so I'm going to use this. Let's see if it... Oh, there's lots of powder. So no, that doesn't wear well. Okay, is it permeable? Let's try some drops of water on the surface. Ooh. And that has sunk in. The water has absorbed into the chalk. So it's permeable. Yes, it is permeable. Water or liquid will soak into chalk. Does it split? So no, but it does crumble. It sort of is a powdery and it will crumble. So no, it doesn't split. And does it float? Let's try it and see if it floats. Nope, that's sunk to the bottom. That does not float. Okay, well done again if you got any of those predictions correct. Now you should be, on your sheet, you should be answering. So after we've done the investigation, you should be answering yes or no, and the answer is. Okay? You should be writing those in. Now we're going to come to limestone. Okay, now there's lots of limestone cottages and lots of lime buildings that have been made with limestone, using limestone. So what type of rock is limestone again? Yes, again, this one's a sedimentary rock as well. And that means that you could find fossils in limestone. And I'll show you an example of a nice fossil that's in this piece of limestone. Okay, so we'll go back to our test. All right, so thinking limestone's used for lots of buildings. So, does it wear well? I can't see very much coming off there. So yes, I think it does wear well. Is it permeable? Okay, let's try some water on the surface. Okay. Ooh, now that water is just sitting on the top, but I think it's just slightly being absorbed. So I could maybe say a yes and a no for is it permeable, because I think over time it probably would just soak in, absorb into the rock. Okay, but okay, and does it split? So no, I can see it doesn't split. And does it float? No, it doesn't float. Okay, well done if you've got any of those predictions correct. Now we're going on to slate. Okay, now you will have seen lots of slate in the village used as slate tiles on roofs. Okay, so that might give you a clue as to whether it wears well. All right, so with that. A little bit, but I would say it wears well. Is it permeable? Now, thinking it's used for roof tiles. Now, do you think it would be a good idea if the water soaked into the roof tiles, absorbed in? So I think this one is a pretty much. Ooh. No, that's not permeable. That is not soaking in. And does it split? Now, quite interestingly, slate has got lots of different layers. You can probably see them there. So slate does split. Okay, so if it, on the slate where it says, does it split? That would be a yes. And also, now what type of rock is slate? Can you remember? Yes, it's a metamorphic rock, which means that it's changed states in under a very high temperatures underground. And also you can find fossils in metamorphic rocks. And there is a nice one here if you can see it. Okay, so does it split? Yes. Does it float? No, doesn't float. Okay, put that one back. Now on to our last rock, and that is a rock called pumice. Okay, pumice is quite an unusual rock in some ways. Its properties are quite unusual. Now, what type of rock is it? Now, in actual fact, this is an igneous rock. It's a volcanic rock, and it comes from the froth on top of the molten lava that flows down from the volcano. And it's frothy because it traps lots of gas inside it. Okay, so when it cools, it's actually very light. Okay, so does it wear well? Well, let's see. Oh, it's wearing away a little bit. Okay, ooh, does it wear well? Maybe not, maybe yes and no, but it has worn away a little bit there. Is it permeable? Let's have a look and see. Okay. Now there are lots of little holes in pumice, and I can see the water just starting to absorb into it. So I'm going to say, is it permeable? Yes, it's permeable. The water's seeping in. Does it split? No. Powders. It's more powdery and crumbly. But does it float? Okay, let's have a look. Now, hopefully this will work. Let me... Ooh. Oh, now then, it is lifted. If you look carefully, it is actually just floating. And pumice, because of all the little air bubbles, the little gas bubbles that have formed inside it when it was a molten rock, means that it's got lots of holes and trapped inside it. So yes, pumice does float. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed our rock testing investigation. Okay, thank you.